Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Website for Chris Ann is on the back here. Chris-Ann with an E.com. It's at the bottom of that paragraph. Feel free to freeze frame if you would like to, of course. Supportive Oracle cards. You are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the back here is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Naturally, just feel free to freeze frame if you want to write down or catch that information. If you need to. Naturally. What do we have for Taurus? Must have done something to that card. It's bent in the middle. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now, when I was shuffling, the Six of Wands kept popping up in front of me, and I kept thinking success for Taurus. So, ultimately, I feel like this is a successful thing for you. I'm starting to think it has to deal with more with somebody else, or somebody maybe you've helped. Somebody you've helped. I feel like it's somebody you've helped. Because I get like, this is somebody who greatly appreciates you. They have random tendencies. I don't think that's gone away, but I think it's more manageable. So like maybe they were more random with like their spending, and maybe that made paying bills difficult. And you've kind of helped them kind of like, listen, put this money here, keep that out of your own reach so you can pay those bills, and then put this money over here you can be more random with. And like I feel like you've helped them like keep their randomness, but try to keep as much other, like try to teach them how to be more responsible maybe with, I keep feeling like finances or something like that. There's certain responsibilities for some of you. You might have helped somebody like get their work ethic better together so that they're not having difficulties at work as much. Could be stuff like that. So this energy was all over the place at one point. But you've helped them over time find better ways to do things. Do they do things like you do things? No. Nowhere near it. No. But they've absorbed enough information to improve what they are doing so that they can still be their random self, but in a way that life isn't as harsh for them. Okay, I think that's where we're going for with that. I think that's fine. You know that the time is coming to where you're not going to be able to really do anything with this. You technically, it's almost like this person is going somewhere else, and you might technically be able to text them and keep in contact with them with text. I'm kind of getting a texting thing here with this. But that might be as far as you can go. You can't get involved in their situation. You can't do anything for them other than provide emotional support. Especially because it feels like it's bounded. It's like there's a boundary of text here. In the sense of like, it seems like even if you see this person once in a while, there's no way you can get into the depths of what their situation is to really help them. You can give them superficial answers, but Taurus isn't usually about superficial answers. It's kind of like if I'm going to do something, I know why I'm going to do it, I know where it's going to lead me and how it's going to secure it in the future. Like, so there's only so much you can do. That might be another reason you got the Two of Swords, which is a block card, which is not bad, is what I'm getting. This person needs to learn to do this on their own, and they do have what it takes. They are intelligent, is what I'm getting. They do have what it takes. They may just be nervous to do it, and you know this. The High Priestess balances the good with the bad. Am I super comfortable with them going on their own and living their own life this way? No. Do I feel like it's something that should happen and they need to do? Yes. It's kind of like, does it need to happen? Yeah. Do I like it? I don't know about that. This, you feel bad about it, I think, is a part of the problem. Because the way things are changing, you feel like you're cutting out on a responsibility. It makes you feel kind of like, I should be there more. I should be able to advise more. I should do this more or something else more. And you can't. You just literally can't. You're not doing anything wrong. We get more about you're not doing anything wrong, but it feels like I'm cheating out on something, and you're not. Because I can't do anything, but I'm trying to, and you're half connected with the texting. I feel like I'm half connected. And I want to be able to give more advice, but I can't because I don't really know what's going on. You got the Ten of Swords with the Hanged Man in and out, halfway in, halfway out. I can't give good advice because I don't know all of what's going on. I don't know all the levels. I don't know of all the different angles that we need to look out for. I only know a little bit of information now. I can relate to it in the sense of like what I've gone through, what Taurus has gone through, but I can't say that that's exactly what they're going through. In fact, it's more than likely not exactly what they're going through. So for example, like I'm older, not that old, I'm like 48, but when I look at like how I used to do a job 20 years ago versus how people do a job, the same job now, the technology itself is different, let alone the process. So it's kind of like I can tell you how I did it back when I did that job 20 years ago, but I'm pretty confident it's not done the same anymore. It may have the same principles. For example, if you look at accounting, they have to balance out. They should come to zero at the end. I hope that would still be the case. Both sides have to go back to zero. But how what accounts you have to deal with, who's responsible for those accounts, why this account can take this time, where you put that, what they're calling this, what they're calling that. If they're using different systems, I couldn't tell you how to get to this report or that report or what report you would need. Like, stuff like that, The basis is probably the same. The way it's done, who you report to, how they handle things, what they want from you, what portion of the, even with accounting, I don't know where I'm going here with this. Even if you're not the one who balances at the end, you might be only responsible for a certain thing. You should be aware if that's working out or not. I would think, but maybe you don't. I don't know. If you're only if you're only responsible for X amount of accounts and not the whole thing, the main accountant is the one who's going to balance it. You may not know if it's balancing out to zero or not. I don't know why we have to go down that road so far, but The Star card with the emotional release. I do feel like you're happy for them moving forward. Nervous for them, definitely. Happy for them, yes. Nervous, yep. Both. Happy and nervous. But it's kind of like, we got to do this. We got to do this. This has to happen. This is time. It's ironic because I feel like you're also kind of like, there's a lot more they could learn and they would do better. But I also feel like there's only so much I can teach them the way they do things. If they did things the way you do things, which they don't, and that's okay, they're just different. There's nothing wrong with that. But if they did things the way you did things, it would be a different story. But that's not, they're always going to have this random element to them, which is, there's nothing wrong with. It's just, it's hard for you to relate to. So even though it's time for this to happen, and you're happy for them, that's why I'm also going to pull forward these two cards. I am nervous that maybe they're not ready, but I'm hoping they are. The two of these together, like, especially the way that the Queen of Cups is looking, she's like, oh, please let this be the right way. Please let this work. Please let this work out the way it's supposed to. And then the Seven of Pentacles, like, we could do a little bit more work here. We could kind of advance this a little bit farther and maybe it would go better. But at the same time, this person's making their decision. They have to move forward. Things have to move forward. I think that's another thing here, because it's kind of like, I could do more. And I feel like I haven't taught them everything I could, and maybe I should do more before they go, but they're going either way, so kind of like, I feel like maybe you're messing with yourself a bit. You might be messing with yourself a bit on this one. You definitely care about them, they definitely care about you. As it keeps going forward, you are going to have that detachment, is what I'm getting. Detachment? Is that the right word? Six of Swords, half in and half out. There's only so much you can do. And then the Five of Major Arcana, which is the Hierophant, that's your card. reversed. Yeah. That's that detachment. The Five of Major Arcana, the Hierophant reversed. That's telling me you can't. There's only so much you can do. You can hear what's going on. You can try to help, but I feel like you know very well, I'm not there. I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know how this is adding up. I don't know what they're actually doing. I don't know what people are actually giving them. I don't know how this job works the way it currently works. It's a little frustrating, but you try to be as supportive as possible. Is there anything else I need to say with this? Because I'm getting here, it takes a lot of strength, but like they are actually getting stronger. The detachment, you're detached from the situation. This person is forced, even if they're not like if it's a work thing, for example, even if they're not a manager, they're just a regular worker like most people. Even if they're that, what I'm getting is like they have to lead themselves. They have to take accountability for their own situation, and I feel like they are. They have learned that level of responsibility from you. Even if they're going to be random about it, that's fine, but they're still responsible to make sure everything gets done the way it needs to. And you have given them like ways to do so. For example, maybe you taught them to like make a list of all their responsibilities and then prioritize what's the most important down to what's the least important. Maybe you taught them that. So that they have, at least they can keep, throughout the day, they can keep looking back at this list and like, oh yeah, I got to get that done. Or, oh, they've learned things like that from you. And they are getting a lot stronger because they're learning what works for them and how to do things for them. They're taking what you've taught them and they're making it work in a way that works for them, that makes sense to them. So it's like maybe you would have like prioritized the list most important to least important and just worked your way down. They're going to kind of maybe like look at all the list and kind of like, well, this is what I think is the most important. That just goes in this box. This second box is like halfway important. This third box is least important. And they just have a jumble of what's in these boxes, and they just kind of bounce back and forth. But when they see the deadlines, oh, that's why that was the most important, because it has to be done by the end of the day. All right, I better do it now to get it done. And they'll just kind of bounce back and forth and do what they want to do. You would kind of go boom, 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 right down the list. But still, they learn to like write it down, put them in priority boxes, blah, 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 stuff like that. They're getting a lot stronger. When this comes in, I feel like they're not able to tell you as much as they need to. You're going to see over time that they're succeeding. I don't feel like you realize how strong they've gotten due to your influence. I don't think you're seeing that directly. I just don't see. It's not like you're not hearing it, but it's just kind of like the proof is in the pudding, and you don't have access to the proof. Does that make sense? Like if this is somebody that you've helped and they're going to work somewhere else, you see that they're succeeding. Maybe they're getting promotions, and you get that, and you understand that, but you can't see like why. You don't see the proof isn't. You can't see how their work ethic is going, what they're getting done, their quality of their work. You have no access to that. Does that make sense? They're going to kind of stay at that level for quite a while, and they're going to do well with it. There'll be more transformations for them down the road. It might be a few years before they make the next advancement that you feel like they need to make. I don't know. It seems like they've achieved a good level here, and they're going to kind of just sit there for a while with the Hanged Man and the personal transformation. I feel like they're just kind of resting at this level for a while. Is life perfect? No. But, well, I mean, I could go down that whole road of like what is perfect, but it's more like there's some bumps and bruises. I feel like you're kind of like, that could go a little bit better. They're doing better than they used to, but they're kind of like leveling out for a while. I feel like you want them to progress further, and I don't think that's happening. I'm also noticing like all these cards like showed up not upside down, but in your thoughts and feelings. It does stress you that they're not continuing to advance because you're like, okay. It's kind of like somebody who stopped at 8th grade and then just kind of like long time ago, I feel like that used to be a thing where kids would get to like 8th grade or so and then they'd stop school and that would be the end of it. I don't know how it works nowadays. I feel like you have to be at least 16 to drop out of school now. I don't know how that works. But a long time ago, I feel like it was 8th grade or something before. Anyway, it feels like they're stopping at 8th grade to you, and they're stopping their education and they're not doing anything. And you're like, you have to go through the last 4 grades. Like, you have to do the last 4 grades at least, and then I'd like you to continue on. But they're like stalling at grade 8. That's kind of how this feels. Does that make sense? You have a deep emotional investment with them that's not going anywhere. That's another thing that's going on. You're realizing that they have to figure this out for themselves, and it's working out the way they're handling it. If they don't want to advance to the next level, that's their business. They get what things are working out the way they're working out because they don't want to advance. Like if you want to go to college but you're not willing to go past 8th grade, it's kind of like that's kind of like a catch-22 there. You have to advance so you're ready for college. You have to do the next 4 grades so you can go into college, because college is an advancement past that usually. So you're like, you got to kind of go through these last 4 grades so you can go to that next level. They kind of want to go to the college level, but they don't want to do the next 4 grades, and you're like, well, you need to, so it's working out the way it's going to work out. At least I'm under the impression that most colleges won't let you go to college, at least if you don't have like a GED. So in my opinion, like getting a GED would be the equivalent of getting those last 4 grades. But anyway, or some type of equivalency, because I know this goes all over the world. So whatever that works for wherever you are. That's where this is. It's going to stagnate at this point. You are doing good. You took them as far as you were supposed to take them. The Hanged Man isn't somewhere people stay for the rest of their life. This person is at a pause, but it's a pause. It's kind of like, I'm going to cringe. There's pause on videos, so there you go. When you pause a video, it just kind of hangs there, but then when you hit play, it keeps going. I was thinking of a tape recorder, and I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't think those are even used anymore. But you hand somebody a cassette tape and they're like, what's this? It's on pause. It's just on pause. It's going to continue on. The song will continue on with somebody else. The video will continue on with someone else. This person won't stay there for the rest of their life, or they're not supposed to. But you've done your part. You have done your part, and you've done the best you could with it, from what I'm getting. Does that help? I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. I'm going to shut this down here. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.